Hello everyone, what's going on? Welcome to Mbel-Techyz. So in this video, I really want to talk about a CSS framework called Bootstrap. Because I actually observed that a lot of beginners out there trying to learn Bootstrap are finding it difficult to implement the Bootstrap CSS file and JavaScript file correctly. So I've now decided to make a video that will help you on that. So let us get started. What is Bootstrap? Bootstrap is an open source toolkit for developing with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So one thing I want you guys to know is that writing CSS code from scratch is kind of a pain in the neck. So it would be nice if you can use something that has been created by somebody, so it won't be every single time that we just have to keep writing our codes from scratch. And so that's the idea behind Bootstrap. Bootstrap was created to solve this problem so we can create websites really fast by using someone else's CSS and building on top of it. Alright now guys, so I want to show you guys a website that I created with Bootstrap. Website that I created with Bootstrap. Like I don't have to write every CSS code for it. So this is the website, and I'm going to show you the difference between the website that I created with Bootstrap and the website I created by writing all the codes from scratch. So I'm going to be showing the CSS line of code for the one I created with Bootstrap, and for the one I wrote all the CSS codes from scratch. So this is the website I created using without the Bootstrap. So I actually created I built this website writing every CSS code from scratch. And for this very first one, let's take a look at the CSS lines of code. All right, so this is the code, this is the HTML section, and for the CSS section we have 378 lines of code for the CSS section. Now let's take a look at the one I built without the Bootstrap, and let's check the CSS line of code. The CSS line of code for this is 744. You can see there are differences, in the lines of code. So in this one I just have to keep writing a lot of CSS code, and which was like a pain in the neck for me. Alright guys, so let's begin with the implementation. By the end of this course we'll be building a navigation bar. We'll be testing our Bootstrap CSS file by building a navigation bar with Bootstrap. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is to go to search for getbootstrap.com on any of your browser, whether Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or Safari. Whichever browser you're using, just type getbootstrap.com. So it's going to bring you to this website over here, and we have the newest version of Bootstrap, which is version 5.3. So we have the latest version to be version 5.3. And guys, I want you guys to take note of something. Now when you are downloading, when you check this part, you can see we have previous version, we have version 2.3, 3.4, 4.6. Like these are the previous version, and we also have this latest version of version 5 upward, from version 5.0, 5.1, 5.2, now up to this 5.3. So what I want you guys to notice or to take note is that when you are downloading for maybe like you are downloading for version 2, or your implementation, if you try and put the Bootstrap implementation for version 5, is not going to work. Or if you download the Bootstrap file of version 4 and you are implementing these Bootstrap codes for version 5 into your version 4 file, is not going to work. You might just be confused, or you might be surprised why it's not working. But if you have like version 5 or from version 5 upward, now in case maybe you download for version 5.0 and you're implementing the source code for version 5.3 into version 5.0, is actually going to work because they are on the same um, version because they are on the same version number. So it's actually going to work if you implement version version 5.3 or 5.2 into any of these any of these versions. All right, so let's get started with the implementation. First of all, you just have to go to this documentation, that is the docs, and it's going to bring you to the docs. You can see a lot. We have um, a lot of should I call it, like a lot of documentations over here. So we just have to keep or we just have to select whichever one we want to use. All right, now so let's begin with the download. So just click on the download at this left hand side and come over here and download the CSS and the JavaScript file. So it's going to download for version 5.3. I don't need to download it because I actually have version 5.1. I'm using version 5.1. So when you click on this, it's going to start downloading automatically. So now let's go into our desktop and start creating or start implementing the file that we downloaded. So first of all, I will go into my download folder. So I have my Bootstrap over here, my Bootstrap file. Let me just take it to my desktop. I don't know why this is bringing up. So it's on my desktop over here. Where is it? Can't find it. Bootstrap. Oops, I think it did not locate, or it did not drop. So go to desktop. All right. Oh, I think, yeah. Oh, I'm not sure if this is, I downloaded the version 3 but I'm not sure. Wow, the version 5.3 actually is downloaded. Let me just bring it to my desktop. All right, so I have it on my desktop over here. Okay, I have it on my desktop over here, and what I'm going to do now is to create a folder. So I'm just going to create a folder of, let me call it bootstrap demo. I don't know why this is popping out, and they're just trying to scare me with virus or all right, so I'm going to name this bootstrap demo. Bootstrap demo. All right, so in my bootstrap demo, let me just bring it over here. So in my bootstrap demo, I'm going to extract this folder, or let me just drag the folder into it, and I'm going to extract. I will be extracting it from the folder. So when I open the folder, I'll just right click over here and click extract. So now my bootstrap folder has been extracted. I can delete this. So now when I open it, I have the JS file, I have the CSS file. So in my CSS file, I have all this, and in the JavaScript file, I also have all these files. Now what I'm going to do now is to create, or to open it with my live my VS Code. To open it with my VS Code. All right, so let me maximize this. So now let's create our HTML file, index.html, and let's bring our document type with the shift 1. So let me change the title to bootstrap demo implementation. Now guys, the first thing we need to do is to link our CSS file. Or now, okay guys, let's do this. Let me bring a documentation. Let me select a documentation from the Bootstrap and let's paste it over here. Now let's create the navigation bar. So creating the navigation bar, I'll just have to search for, or let me just search for navbar here. So searching for navbar, oops. So now I've searched for navbar, and when I scroll down, I can see different kind of navigation bars that they have here. So for this now, we have this the logo, the text logo. We have some links with a drop down of action, another action, and we just, let me just call it links with the drop down. And this is with disabled, and it's also having some search inputs, and where you can, and the button. So for this navigation bar, this is actually the code for it, the HTML code for it. So let me just go down and pick a very cool, and all right, let me pick this one. So for this, I have this text logo of navbar, home, features, pricing, and this is disabled. We can actually remove this disabled. So for that, in case I want this kind of navigation bar, all I need to do is just to highlight everything here, or just come over to this place and copy to clipboard. So when I click on it, it's going to copy. So now I'm going to go back to my VS Code, and I'll paste it with Control V. So when I right click and open with my live server, I'm just going to have the HTML file, only the HTML or the HTML outputs. So now for the styling has not been applied. The styling have not been applied because we haven't linked the Bootstrap CSS. All right, so to do that, you just have to come to your link, and just the way we should link external CSS. So just do /, click on the Bootstrap, then locate the CSS Bootstrap, and locate all bootstrap.css. all right, okay, I have it here, bootstrap.css. So by doing that, automatically I know the styling would have been applied to my code. So let me go back to my, yes, the styling has applied. I have this gray background. I can actually change the background color if I want. So let me change the background color. So I'll be using internal CSS. Then let me just target the navbar. So with the class of navbar, then giving it background of let me give it yellow. Okay, it's not working. Then I just have to put the important attribute to force it. Yes. All right, so the background color has been applied. So this disabled, you can actually remove the disabled by taking out these attributes. So by doing that, you can see our disabled has been disabled. All right, now what we need to do is to include the JavaScript file. Now take a look at the JavaScript file. Now this is not kind of should I call it, is not responsive, or now let me try and shrink the page. So by shrinking the page, at some point the navigation icon came out, but clicking on it is not dropping down my nav, it's not dropping down my navigation links. So that is because I have not included the JavaScript file. So I'll just have to go to my code, and at the bottom here, always put it at the bottom. I'll just type in my script tag, then with the source attribute, then I'll do my /, calling my Bootstrap. Now this is going to be JS we are locating for the JS, not the CSS. So I'll click the JS and locate bootstrap.js. Automatically it's now going to start working. Now let me go back to my browser and click on this. You can see it's now working. My navigation bar is working. Alright guys, so that's how to implement Bootstrap into your CA or into your code or into your website. And you can actually just go into the website, the Bootstrap website, and just search for just there are a lot of styling, or there are a lot of documentations to use. So let's assume you want to use the carousel or the grid. Now the grid are very important. It's something that we use often just to section or to arrange our content in a proper way. So you just have to just come here and click copy to clipboard. Then you can just come here and paste your code. So doing that is going to, you can see it has been applied. So let me just have some lorem to this lorem. All right, so now you can see we have our grid. Our grid has been sectioned properly, and when I shrink it, I'm very sure it's going to be responsive. Now it's shrinking, but I did some of the styling is not there because we did not style it. All right guys, so that's that for Bootstrap. I hope if you guys find this helpful, please subscribe to my channel, click on the notification bell to get notified anytime I drop a new video. Thank you so much guys. I really love you guys. See you guys in the next video.